here I have right next to me is a Kodak ESP 6100 series printer. And what's awesome about this printer, it beats hands down the newer, more aesthetically pleasing ESP 7 and 9 series printers. But what's neat about this printer is that it's capable, just like it's the newer model printers. It's capable of connecting to BlackBerry devices and iPhone devices via a Kodak app that you can get in the App Store and BlackBerry App Store. And need my pen. And you could just connect right up to it. You could print out somebody. So let's say, for instance, someone emails you a picture or sends you a picture, via Bluetooth or whatnot. You could print it straight from your phone to your printer. That's an awesome, that's awesome by itself. And that's a feature that's in the newer ones and this one. The reason why I boast about this one so much is that in the newer models in the 7 series and 9 series, they face so many hardware failures, whether like paper jams or things that just get stuck or messed up, or low quality prints, the unit functions slow, just so much stuff going wrong with it, so many units getting returned back to Kodak, that these printers, the older series, are just the pick of the litter, basically. So let's talk about installation. Installation, it's kind of a big of a struggle a little bit to begin with. You get everything in the box, pretty big box. And the instructions are easy to follow. 2-color instructions, and they're pretty easy to follow. The thing is like you need to follow instructions. You really do. If you're not really hardware savvy, I saw where you can run into issues where you can actually damage your printer if you're not following the instructions very carefully. We didn't face any of those problems, but I saw where you could just pull this up wrong and you could break something. So just it behoove you, if you get one of these things, have it installed by someone that knows what they're doing, like a family member, or have someone, outsource it, have someone come in, install it for you. Then you get to the software point where after you connect it to your network, now it's time to start installing the software on your clients. Now, all it was you just pop the provided Kodak disk into your computer, and there's actually an option to not even install the software from the disk. There's an option, if you're already connected to the internet, to download the latest drivers from Kodak. So it just straight up bypass and connect it straight from Kodak servers, the latest drivers. So you don't get into that issue of downloading the drivers that came with your thing, and then it installs on top of your originally installed drivers, and then somewhere in between it breaks your drivers because you have 2 different drivers layered on top of one another. It just says, no, do you just want to download the latest ones? And you say, okay. And it just bypasses that script altogether. So you don't even run into those issues. And this is the first time that I've dealt with like a printer device that it actually upgraded its firmware like the printer actually updated its firmware live. And what I mean by that is usually it requires like your computer to download the firmware update and load the firmware via like a USB connection, and then it updates the printer. But what I was able to do is once I got the client software installed on the computer, its next question was, well, the latest firmware update is version 3, and the one on the printer is 1. Would you like to update the latest firmware? And I was about to break out the USB cables, but something said, don't even do it. Just press OK. So I pressed OK, and then it started doing this thing. I looked on the back. I saw that network activity light blinking, and I was like, oh, it's doing its own thing. And it started doing it. It said, just don't disconnect anything. It's doing its own thing. And it started downloading from, Kodak FTP server, the new firmware, and start updating its own thing. So it's got a smart, it's a smart enabled, operating system to itself. It doesn't really require you to have to link your USB to it and then have to push updates like that. It'll just ask you, do you want to upgrade the printer, and then it'll just go off and do it, which is good because it's connected up to your network, so there's no reason for it not to. It kind of like works like your router in that kind of way, where your router will check for updates and it'll automatically update itself, and you'll sometimes wonder, okay, why do I need to reset my router? Well, your router updated, so why shouldn't your printer do the same? And in this case, this one does. So they nailed it. That was good. And that was flawless. Software installation was very quick, very intuitive, really worked out really well. Let's go over features. As you see, this is an office model. So you have your standard, top tray loader. You also have your scan flatbed capabilities. You have your access, whether you can access the removal of the print cartridges, and what's this up? See, that's what it looks like. So it's not like a real cramped space. You just open it up, pluck it out, and pop new in. There's no and actually the design of the printer cartridges is just real simple, and they're designed in a way to keep the mess off of you. So that's real good. If one of your pains is, I don't like getting messy dealing with these printer cartridges. Well, they're designed in a way that it really kind of keeps the mess off of you. So gotta love that part. And here's another feature, is that we have this paper tray, that kind of like hides the paper, so it's like not sticking out. It's kind of like hidden in the device, so it's kind of just flush in the device. And there's on here you have this latch where this is flush with the system, but there's a latch here that pops this up, so now it's slanted at an angle. So I mean, it's that could be a sell point for you if that's something you're interested in. I don't know. You also have your standard print selections. You have your if you just exclusively want to make a like a black print, color print. You have a phone book feature, auto answer. Your standard fax functions, scan, button, fax copy. It's just your standard stuff. Wi-Fi activity lights. Um, and I mean, it's just really good. Um, this unit comes with a Energy Star label, so it's energy efficient. There's also a setting that you could like change, like it goes into like a energy sip mode. Um, like the default is at the lowest level, set at the lowest level, like an hour. So after an hour, it goes into a sip mode. Now, like I had an HP unit before this, and it had like an energy saving mode. But the problem with that one was it would go offline. Like it would like its network connection would shut off. This one, when it goes into an energy saving mode, it still keeps its network activity. So even though it goes into like a energy savings mode, it still keeps its network activity. So it's print on demand. It's like when you want to print, there's no having to go to the printer and pressing a button to like, hey, wake up. You know, there's none of that. And the next thing is the price. Next thing is the price. Price point for these things is pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, you can pick these things up in like the ballpark of roughly about like $170, and you know they're like worth every penny. Like $170, $179, depending on where you shop around, and they're worth every penny. Yeah, I mean they're awesome printers, and like the ink cartridges, they save you money. If you've seen the Kodak commercials, where you can like go and like save money, you know, buy our printers. I mean this is what they're talking about. Like not this one, like because the one they're trying to sell you on the TV is like pure crap. They're trying to sell you the one that's like for like the $59 one that like they'll only cover you for like 6 months and then it'll break like in like 8 months, and then they're like, ha, buy another printer. You know, this one will last you. So rest assured, get this one and then buy that ink. You know, because this is what they're talking about. This is an enterprise edition, so this is like the one that you will actually want in your home. Like if you're like into like making like flyers for your church, if you're into like making, I don't know, like oh I don't, whatever you use printers for. So, like, maybe you sell stuff and you like put up like flyers everywhere or something like that, you know, or I mean you lose a puppy, you want to like put a real good photorealistic of your dog so you can find it real quick. You know, this will do that. So so there's really not much else to talk about. Outstanding printer. Don't be like, oh, but they got the new one. It's like the ESP9, the 7. I gotta give them my money. Go ahead, give them your money. They will take it. This one, is gold, solid. You won't have the issues that you have with the new one. Guaranteed. This has been another Hyperlinkz product common sense review.